Hello, welcome to our next episode of Kids Place. This is where kids come to play, learn, achieve, create, and explore. I'm Mrs. Treherne.
And I'm Mrs. Day. Let's get started with our hello song. Hello, friends. How are you? I'm very happy to see you. Greet your neighbor, boogie on down. Give a bump and turn around. Hello, friends. How are you? I'm very happy to see you. Okay, friends, now we're ready to learn. For today's Learn segment, we're going to be learning about something special called amphibians.
Wait, we're learning about amphibians? I'm an amphibian.
You're right. Fanny, you are an amphibian. Would you like to tell our friends at home what that means?
Oh, yes. An amphibian is a small animal that spends part of its life underwater with gills and part of its life on the land breathing air.
How fascinating.
They just go through, do you remember this word? A metamorphosis.
Oh, a metamorphosis. Well, what do you mean? How does that work?
That means a change. Let me show you.
Okay.
First, a frog lays eggs in the early springtime. They like to lay them in ponds, lakes, or even rivers in big bunches called a frog spawn. Frogs can lay up to, wait for it, 4,000 eggs at one time. Can you believe it?
That's a lot.
Those little eggs grow and grow until they hatch as tadpoles. Tadpoles look a lot like fish. They live underwater, have gills, and they eat algae and other plants. The tadpole gets bigger and bigger, and then one day it sprouts little legs. Back home in the pond, we call them froglets.
Oh, okay.
Yes, froglets. As their legs grow bigger, their tails get shorter, and something really amazing happens. They start to grow lungs so that they can breathe the air.
Wow.
And then, after a little while longer, their tail disappears and their legs are big and strong. Did you know a frog can jump as far as 5 feet away?
A little tiny frog?
Isn't that cool?
That is really interesting.
That's about the size of Mrs. Treherne's height.
You're right. Wow, that is also
That's pretty far.
That is really interesting. Well, are there any other kinds of amphibians?
All frogs are amphibians, of course, but also salamander salamanders, newts, and even my cousin, the toad.
Very cool. Well, maybe, Fanny, we could write our sentence about how frogs are amphibians.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so let's go ahead and write our sentence today, and we're just going to say frogs are amphibians. That was a lot of information. Thank you for sharing all that, Fanny.
It's very exciting.
It is very exciting. Okay, so you're going to be my best helper. Where do we start our sentence?
You know, boys and girls, on the left.
On the left. Okay, our first word in our sentence is frogs. That's a really tough one because there's a second letter in this word that kind of squishes the first sound. It makes it hard to hear just the first one, but let's listen really carefully. Frog. What's that first sound that we hear in that word?
It's an F.
It is an F. That first sound is F. All right. So I'm going to write my capital. I always start on the left, and I always start with a capital. So that second sound that sort of squishes with that F, that F sound is fur. What's that second sound?
R.
It's an R, that sound. All right, so that's called a blend. Frog. And we have more than one frog, so we're going to add an S at the end of this word. Frogs.
Where's my cousin?
Here's your cousin, the space frog. He's going to help us put spaces between our words so we know where one word ends and the next one begins. Okay, frogs are, and this is a tough sight word. The way that it looks is not the way that it sounds. So I'm just going to help with that one. It is A-R-E. Frogs are, and oh my goodness, this is a really big word, but can you help me with the first sound, Fanny? Amphibians.
A.
Very good. Oh my gosh, it's so long, it's still going. Amphibians. Oh, I almost ran out of space. What goes at the end of our sentence, boys and girls? Can you tell us, Fanny? Help them out. A period.
Because you're telling us.
That's right. So our punctuation helps us to know that our sentence is done. All right, I'm going to move my space frog. Let's read this again. Ready? Frogs are amphibians. All right, let's count how many. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Fanny, thank you so much for teaching us all about the frog life cycle today. Boys and girls, wasn't that fun?
Guess what, friends? I get to introduce the guest reader today because they're going to read a story that's special to me. The read aloud for today is called A Frog in the Bog. Let's see who today's guest reader will be.
Hello friends, my name is Miss Courtney Dvorak and I'm the Supervisor of Instruction for Elementary ELA here in St. Mary's County Public Schools, and I'm really excited to read with you today. So let's go ahead and start. We have such a fun book. It's called A Frog in the Bog, and it was written by Karma Wilson and illustrated by Joan Rankin. Frog, bog. What do you notice about those two words? That's right, they rhyme. As you listen to the story, see if you can hear any other words that rhyme. Let's begin. A frog in the bog. There's a frog on the log in the middle of the bog. A small green frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of the bog. He flicks one tick as it creeps up a stick. One tick in the belly of a small green frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of the bog. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. He sees two fleas as they leap through the reeds. One tick, two fleas in the belly of the frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of the bog. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. He spies 3 flies as they buzz through the skies. 1 tick, 2 fleas, 3 flies, oh my, in the belly of the frog on the half-sunk log in the middle of the bog. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. He glugs 4 slugs as they slink through the sludge. 1 tick, 2 fleas, 3 flies, oh my, 4 slugs in the belly of the frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of the bog. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. He inhales 5 snails from their heads to their tails. 1 tick, 2 fleas, 3 flies, oh my, 4 slugs, ew, ugh, and 5 slimy snails in the belly of the frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of the bog. What a hog, that frog! And the frog grows a little bit bigger. Then that log with the frog in the middle of the bog starts to rise. And the frog sees eyes. And the frog sees claws and a big set of jaws and a mouth like a crater. And the frog screams, "Gator!" With his mouth open wide, all the bugs inside start to crawl and fly and to slither and slide. Out come 5 snails from their heads to their tails. 4 slugs, ew, ugh. 3 flies, oh my. 2 fleas, dear me, and 1 tiny tick, ick. And right in the middle of his holler, that frog grows a whole lot smaller. "See you later," says the gator as he romps through the swamp, 'cause the itty-bitty frog isn't big enough to chomp. Now, the bugs in the bog keep away from the frog, and the frog never sits on a half-sunk log. The end. Why do you think that frog doesn't want to sit on a half-sunk log anymore? Thanks for reading with me today.
For today's craft, we're going to get a little messy and we're going to be making some homemade slime.
Ooh, this is going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. For this craft today, you're going to need some baking soda, which we have here, some contact solution, and some glue. If you want to make it more fun, you can add food coloring, glitter, beads, buttons, or really anything you want. Let's get started. Okay, so you want to make sure when you're doing this that we add the baking soda and glue together before we add the contact solution. So we're going to start with our first ingredient up here with 2 teaspoons of baking soda. If you don't have measuring cups at home, a regular spoon will work as a teaspoon. All right, so I'm just going to scoop in, kind of measure out, 1 and 2. Okay,
my turn.
It is heavy.
Okay.
Okay. Then I'm going to empty the whole contents of my small bottle of glue. So it's about 5 or 6 ounces. And we're just going to squeeze it out. Might help if you take the big top off.
Ooh.
Make sure that your glue stays in your bowl. There we go.
Ooh, I have transparent glue so you can see through it.
Okay. Get as much out as you can. Just give it a gentle kind of shake and a squeeze every now and again. Okay. That's probably good. All right. Once you have all your glue into your bowl, you want to make sure that you thoroughly mix it up. That means you want to make sure all the ingredients are mashed together. So we're going to stir and stir and stir until we don't see any clumps of our baking soda anymore.
Okay.
Stir it up.
This reminds me of baking with food
Yeah,
and making recipes.
that's right. Okay. If you wanted to make your slime more fun by adding color, now is the time to do it. So, since we learned all about frogs today, I'm going to make mine green.
Ooh, that
So I have
sounds like
some-
a good choice.
I have some food coloring here today. I have some green, some blue, and some yellow. Would you like to make yours colorful too, Mr. Hearn?
I think I'm going to go blue like my shirt.
Nice. You only need about 1 to 2 drops. A little bit goes a long way. Okay? And then you're gonna make sure to stir that in. Watch what happens. This is so cool. I love seeing all those swirls in there. I think it looks really neat. You wanna make sure you stir it all the way in though. If you'd like the color to be darker, you can add more food coloring.
I prefer it lighter so then it doesn't stain my fingers.
Yes, that is true too. If you would like it to be colored but you don't want to use food coloring, some stores sell the clear glue but in colors, so you can get them in different colors, and that's fun to use too. Okay, so once it's all nice and mixed together,
I can't believe I only used 2 drops and it's this bright.
I know, it is pretty bright. Okay, I think once everything's mixed together, then it's time for our last ingredient, which was our contact solution. So we need about 7 teaspoons of this.
Ooh.
So this could take a little while. Let me get as much of this off there as I can. Measure it out with me. Can you count with me? Ready?
Ready?
1, 2, oh, I squirted a little bit. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I can see that it's already starting to change some of this into a slime-like texture.
Yes, I can see it.
All right,
All right,
so
want to
then
practice counting with me?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 1, and it does splash.
It does.
2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, I'm making a mess. 5. Because it's changing texture.
It
6.
is, yes.
That's why it's splashing.
It's like a science experiment. A cool chemical reaction is happening between the contact solution and our glue and baking soda. Oh, mine's getting pretty hard. I think it's almost done. You can adjust the amount of contact solution. It seems like I have some extra, so maybe we could have done maybe 1 or 2 less teaspoons.
Who do you think?
Yeah. But each glue might be a little bit different, might need a little bit, different ingredients. All right. So now I've got my slime. Ooh, it's very gooey. Oh, the texture is very
This is
strange.
going to be really good exercise for our fingers.
Yes, this is great for strengthening those muscles in your fingers and your hand. So, friends, if you want to do this at home and add some cool things to it, just make sure it's okay with mom and dad or whoever you live with, maybe grandma, cousins. Make sure you keep it in a place that's easy to clean up, like a flat surface of a dining room table. just because
Countertop.
yes, this will stick and stain and will not come out of your clothes or cloth. I hope you had a great time watching us make this slime today. And if you get a chance to make it and you want to send us a picture, you can send it to
kidsplace@smcps.org. We'd love to see what you create at home. And now we're ready to go exploring. Today we're going to head out to St. Mary's Lake and check out some live frogs. Hello, Kids Place friends. We are here at St. Mary's River State Park for today's exploration. Fanny, are you ready to find some tadpoles? Off we go.
Fanny and I have come down the trail a little bit here at the bridge. And you can see a little bit of the lake behind us. Fanny, what are those behind us in the water there?
I feel right at home.
Yeah.
They're lily pads.
Yeah, there's some lily pads over there. So we're gonna put on our spy glasses, take a look around and see if we can find some tadpoles or frogs. Are you ready?
Oh, this will be awesome. I'm so glad to be here today.
All right, come along with us. Frogs like to lay their eggs in water. Once the eggs hatch, they become tadpoles. You can find tadpoles in many different places. You can find them here at the lake, you can find them in ponds, and sometimes you can even find them in large puddles. They like low-lying water. They feed off algae at the surface, so they're going to spend a lot of their time probably in a place where it gets some sun, where algae will grow, but also some place that has little places, little nooks and crannies or grass and things that they can hide in. So we're going to take a look in this little, it's kind of off our lake back here, but it's low-lying water. It's only about 4 or 5 inches deep. We're going to take a look in here. We're going to see if we can find any tadpoles.
Look, Kids Place friends. We found some tadpoles today. I think we have 8 in this critter keeper. They're busy trying to learn their new environment.
Well, Fanny, let's take a look at our St. Mary's River State Park lake area attractions. There is so much here for you and your family to try. You can come walk the trail, which is 7.5 miles all the way around. This is a 250-acre lake.
Wow, that's really big.
You can picnic here, you can boat here, and at designated times you can actually hunt here.
Nice. Very cool. I wouldn't mind doing a little fishing myself.
Yes.
So friends, if you'd like to come visit the lake, there's a playground here. You could picnic with your family or take a lovely walk and see the beautiful views. The hours are sunrise to sunset. There is a $3 fee to get in. You can use your debit card to do that. But you guys should come and check it out and send us some pictures if you come to visit the lake and show us what you did here.
Where fun comes naturally.
That's right. Boys and girls, it's that time of our show where we have to say goodbye. It is
Time to say goodbye to all our friends. It is time to say goodbye to all our friends. It is time to say goodbye. Give a smile and wink your eye. It is time to say goodbye to all our friends. Today we had a lot of fun at Kids Place, didn't we?
We did.
If you would like to get in touch with us, you can email us at the address on the screen. We want to thank you for joining us today. We're so grateful for all of our viewers. Please check us out on Channel 96 or YouTube. Until next time.